Dennis, water is a magical thing, but it's not necessarily the total answer.
No, not at all, Rob, and I'm a bit worried about some of the new farmers in CPW area that will be
Canterbury Plains.
Canterbury Plains, yep, water plains, yes, indeed. They'll be getting water for the first time, some of them, and thinking that that's the absolute silver bullet. Well, you can believe you me that no, it's not. There's a heck of a lot more to getting the best utilisation out of water than just keep pouring it on to light to medium land. And I've been watching a few astute cropping operators around the place over the last sort of 20-30 years, and they do a lot more to ensure the efficiency of water than just keep pouring it on the same soil. And what I'm really talking about is recognising the sheer value of the crop residues that are out there, and of course turning them into something usable is quite a long time and long-term thing, but extremely valuable. And so turning that crop residue by chopping and increasing the surface area and leaving it on top of the soil rather than ploughing it under is the way to go. And I've seen farmers building up layers and layers of basically peat or humus on top of the ground over years, and the main thing is to get it into a condition where you can actually drill another crop through it. And of course the drills, the operation of the drills and the type of drills that are out there have come a long way in terms of direct drilling into this type of residue that's left on top of the soil, and that residue breaks down and becomes available itself in the form of organic nitrogen over time. It is quite a sponge in terms of absorbing the water that is put on, so you get better utilisation. It stays near the surface and holds it for you, and of course it's a wonderful environment for the likes of worms to establish.
So what you're talking about is a mulch, isn't it?
It is a mulch, and it takes years and years to build up the really good stuff, but it's sort of the burning of stubbles and things like that. You think, well, okay, how much phosphate and how much potash and what am I losing? And there is quite a bit, and even carting off that residue in the form of straws and things like that, that's valuable material leaving your gate. So really adding that to the water over time will improve your soil a lot more than just carting it off or ploughing it under or destroying it. It does not mix through into the layers that you can use as well.
Okay, let's change the subject. Grass scrubs and nasties.
Yes, Rob, this time of year the grass scrubs are really tearing into things. They've hatched since about November, December, January, and now they're starting to grow rapidly, and they're voracious under the soil, and a lot of people are putting in insecticides and things like that with establishing new crop, and that's pretty good stuff to do as well. But they do come in when the first frosts start attacking, especially the likes of an old clover field and old pasture, and of course with irrigation keeping the soil nice and moist and a cover on there, the survival of the eggs is quite high. And so about March, April, definitely May, farmers start to say, is that the frost that's taken all my feed? Well, no, there's been a lot of chomping going on underneath. So,
and on the top with piranhas, I guess.
Yes, well the piranhas, they come out and feed on a warm night. They come out from quite deep down. In the dry they go just deeper. They come up and they get quite big, and 4 piranha per square metre is the equivalent of a ewe per square metre, a ewe per acre.
Whew.
So they are voracious. They eat a lot of feed and they grow very quickly, but there's some clever insect regulators that you can spray on that puts them into a straitjacket, and they can't shed their skins to grow through to the next stage. So that's the modern way to control those little beasties.
Exactly.
Yes.
And what about rats and mice? We don't talk about them much.
No, well, this time of the year, the autumn, we like to come inside and get tucked up and warm, and so do they. They come in from the fields in bulk, and they're looking for a dry place to live and nest and wethers feed, and often farmers' wool sheds and granaries and places like that, even your house. Now's the time they're trying to get indoors, so deal to them There's some pretty clever stuff out there, but keep it away from your pets.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Now, what is happening with Roundup? Because there's some pretty amazing things hurtling around.
Well, there certainly is, Rob, and the world's about to hear and see a lot more of this in the next few months. And what's actually happening is that the price of Roundup's gone up for a start, because it's under real pressure, and some countries are looking at banning it, some are restricting the use of it, and in Europe 2/3 of the Europeans are in favour of banning it, and they're actually talking about doing that by June. So watch this space in terms of food production, because glyphosate has been the mainstay of a lot of total vegetation control, as well as strategic control of things like cooch, twitch, for the last 40 years. And take that away, and what it will be replaced with, nobody knows. There are some sort of similar type things out there, but they're not as good as translocating.
So why suddenly this focus?
Well, this is, you know, how you can measure parts per billion these days, and residues and things like that. There's a lobby group out there that think they can find it in all sorts of things, but it's been very, very safe and proven safe to humans for many, many years. So there's going to be a battle on between the scientists of who's right, who's wrong, whether it's going to go out of existence. But if it does, the price of food is just going to go through the roof, both you know, horticultural produce and arable produce.